It is quickly moving at about 35 miles per hour. Here's the latest scan where the center of circulation is. Here's Mesa rushing down to the south, vaults over to the west of this storm. You are not included in this tornado warning, but something to be concerned of as well. Tylertown, not a concern for you either. Salem, now Dynam and Sartonville, some of the biggest areas that we're going to be concerned with at this time. Highway 583 as well. Once again, let's go ahead and check the debris. It's a very, very noisy here. We can't exactly see a particular debris signature, but once again, these are some very fast winds moving in and away from the radar. We know that it's rotating, and at any time could put a tornado on the ground, causing some damage, lofting debris into the air. So let's go back to our velocity signature here and look at that. Right there, it is impressive signature of the velocity. You can see the greens and the reds, very bright colors. So Mesa, you are just now to the south, moving at about 35 miles per hour. Here's a closer look at some of those roads and smaller areas. Oak Grove Road, St. Paul Road, also Old Holmes Road. This is Highway 583, moving into areas of Harveytown Road, Dynam Salem Road. This is quickly moving 35 miles per hour right now. If you know anyone in these areas, if you're in these areas, take precaution, go ahead, find your safe place and stay there until you're given the all clear. Now, we don't want to end up with any more storm reports or any injuries out of this severe weather event. That's why we're on here. That's why we're breaking into normal programming. We're just here trying to give you all the updates that is possible and give you all the information you can to stay safe during this time. So areas of Enon, you're going to be right on the edge of this tornado polygon, but still go ahead and for extra precautions, just take shelter. New Home Church Road, Manning's Crossing Road, also Sartonsville. We've been talking about you. Sauls Road, Dan Holmes Road, Kearney Road, some of the areas, just a few. Highway 27 all the way through this polygon. Now, of course, we'd have to see this center of circulation definitely take more of an easterly path, but areas in northern Walthall County, you're still under the gun for this rotating thunderstorm that is going to go. And look at the last update of the polygon. So we have seen it trimmed back. It's now in central Walthall County, just north and west of Tylertown, but it's moving into northern Walthall County, into areas of Salem, and also heading across Highway 27. Now, just taking a wider view here just to get an idea. This is our only warning at this time in the WJTV viewing area. Looking at all the rotations, there are some areas of rotation, just some smaller areas to our north there in Lawrence County, but nothing that has prompted the National Weather Service in Jackson to issue a tornado warning. We've got some severe thunderstorm warnings, though, off to our west and our south. That's going to be in central Louisiana around the Interstate 10 corridor and also Interstate 49. But of course, our main concern is going to stay with this storm that we're still seeing an impressive signature of this velocity just north of Mesa. The latest update here on the velocity scan showing it moving at 35 miles per hour. Just to give you an updated estimated time of arrival, I'm going to drag this all the way just a little past Walthall County to give you a better idea. This could possibly be extended further downstream if need be, but 7:04 is your estimated time of arrival in Dynam, 7:09 in Salem, 7:19 in Sartonsville. So you've got a good amount of lead time there. But once again, shave a few minutes off of this. Go ahead, find your safe place now. If you are just hearing this, that's because we have a tornado warning for northern Walthall County due to a rotating thunderstorm that is posing the threat and the potential for a tornado at any time. Now I'll send things over to Chief Meteorologist for a closer look at this storm.
All right, Gracie, and thankfully this is the only storm out there, so we're going to focus all of our attention on what's happening right now in central and in northern Walthall County. When we got the update from the National Weather Service out of New Orleans, and New Orleans is responsible for Walthall County in Mississippi, that update came out about 8 minutes or so ago. That's when the polygon was trimmed down, and you saw that happen on air as Gracie was talking about it. So whenever you see the polygon kind of shift around a little bit, we know we've got an update from the National Weather Service so we can get any updates about any kind of forward motion change or where it's headed. There was a little bit of an update there. It was moving to the north at about 35, now slowing down just a little bit at about 25 miles per hour. So knowing that, we can track it out towards the edge of the warning polygon, which would be northern Walthall County. So let's go ahead and take a look at Live IMAX 2 full screen. We've already got 25 miles per hour plugged in there. The rotating part of this is now north and west of Tylertown, north of Highway 98. We'll take it out to the edge of the polygon there. It's going to take about 30 minutes. And remember, the current warning is for about the next 30 minutes, actually about 28 plus minutes. So in that amount of time, it is going to be moving toward these locations. And there you see those popping up in this cone. Dinan at 9 minutes after 7, Salem at about a quarter after 7, and Sartonville at pretty close to the bottom of the hour. Of course, that's right at the very top or the northern edge of Walthall County. So if you live near these communities, in these communities, well, you are downstream of the storm. You're in the path of the storm, and these are the places that you should be taking shelter right now. Staying away from a mobile home. Don't get in a vehicle to drive when the storm is moving through. You're not going to be able to outrun a storm like this. So we want you to get to a nearby sturdy structure, to a basement, a storm shelter, if that's possible. If not, that lowest floor of a sturdy structure in a small interior room. So let's go ahead and check out the velocity with this one more time. Still, we're analyzing this from New Orleans, and we're getting a good indication from the New Orleans radar about where exactly this rotation is. And I got to tell you, with time, it's gotten better looking, even though this cell is actually moving away from the radar site out of New Orleans. Now, if this storm actually holds together, and it looks like it might, we could get this tornado warning extended farther to the north into places like potentially Lawrence County, Jefferson Davis County, Marion County. Well, the National Weather Service out of Jackson is responsible for all of those counties. So it's likely that we're going to be kind of switching back and forth from one radar site to the other to get the best view on the storm. But right now, the best view is still coming from New Orleans. And let's query the red pixels there and the green pixels. And you know what? Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and switch radar sites out of Jackson. This is what the reflectivity, or just the rain, looks like out of Jackson. And this is a look at the velocity out of Jackson. And so go ahead and query some of these speeds here, and we can see it from the Jackson radar site as well, that we have got winds moving in opposite directions here. The green, that is inbound wind toward the radar site. Now we're talking about wind moving toward the Jackson area, and the red is wind moving away from Rankin County, which is where the radar is. So we definitely have the rotation indicated by both radars now. This is the Jackson radar, and this is the New Orleans radar. There you see how the colors kind of switch back and forth, because one is to the north and one is to the south, but it's pretty obvious about where the rotation is. So we don't have to struggle to figure out where the rotating part of the severe thunderstorm is. It is definitely clear that it is between Dinan and Salem, between the highways 27 and 583 in northern Walthall County. I will circle the rotation right there, which is in this road which connects Dinan and Salem. It is Dinan-Salem Road, and it's moving to the north and east at about 25 miles per hour. Maybe a little bit of a more northerly component, but still tracking a little bit to the east as well. So knowing that, we can tell you exactly where the storm is going to be headed. If it's right there, it's going to be tracking into northern Walthall County over the next 20 minutes and ultimately getting close to Sartonville at 7:21. Now, Sartonville is the community that pops up here, but we know there are folks that live between Dinan and Salem and Sartonville. If you live out in the countryside in northern Walthall County, you're going to be in the path of the storm. And if you live south of Sartonville, it's going to be there before 7:21. The current time is about 6 minutes after 7. So we're talking 10, maybe 15 minutes at best before the rotating part of this severe thunderstorm moves across your area. So don't waste time. Go ahead, get into your safe spot. You don't want to wait until the storm is actually on top of you before you get to where you need to be to get through this storm. So go ahead, get to that safe spot and stay there. Now, areas to the south of Dinan and Salem, I would say if you live closer to Mesa and Rushing and Tylertown, you're now okay. You're now past the rotating part of this severe thunderstorm. Yes, technically you're still in the tornado warning if you live around Mesa and Rushing, but we can clearly see by looking at our Live Eye Max 12 radar product that, well, we don't have the rotation near Mesa or Tylertown anymore. It's actually well to the north of there. So if you live in Mesa, we can sound the all clear for you. If you live south of Dinan, we can sound the clear for you. But if you live anywhere between Dinan and Salem, and especially north of there, between Highway 583 and Highway 27, and especially around Sartonville and some of these smaller communities that should pop in here as we zoom in, like Enon, you are still under the gun with this storm. It's still moving towards you, and you need to continue to be in your safe spot while the storm is moving on by. Let's go ahead and see if we can see anything else that is dangerous with the storm, like hail. Now, sometimes storms like this do produce large hail. There's a little bit of an indication. You can see right there between Dinan and Salem that there may be some hail with this, but it's really, really small. We're talking about very small hail, less than marble in size. So that's not a big concern. We've also seen some lightning strikes with this storm, but not a ton of lightning strikes. Still, lightning is very dangerous, and we don't need you to be outside when a storm like this is moving through, even close to the storm, because lightning can strike up to 10 miles away from its parent thunderstorm. So even if you live around Kokomo, which is in Marion County, or if you live in the other direction over in Pike County near Topsaw, you still need to be indoors as this is moving through, because lightning is potentially a dangerous aspect of the storm, although lightning is not what makes a storm severe. It's the gusty winds coming from the storm, potentially up to 58 miles per hour or greater, and quarter-sized hail or larger. We're not seeing that size hail, but we are seeing very strong winds coming from the storm. Let's go ahead and take a look once again at the velocity with this. This is out of New Orleans, and this is out of Jackson. And again, winds very strong. That's our primary risk. That is our primary threat from this storm as it continues to make its way to the north and northeast, right along Highway 27 and approaching the community of Sartonville, soon to be crossing places like Manning's Crossing Road, also D. Tony Road and Eaton Sartonville Road. So these areas are going to be in the path of the storm. Also, it may be shifting a little bit farther to the east. So even in places like Darburn and to the west of there along Highway 586, get in your safe spot and stay there over the next several minutes. It's only going to take a few more minutes as it's moving to the north at about 25 miles per hour. It's only going to take a few more minutes to get past these areas. Rotation is right there. Now north and west of Salem, it's going to be crossing Manning's Crossing Road in just a couple of minutes. It's going to be up near D. Tony Road, and in, let's say, about 5 to 6 minutes, and it's going to be approaching Sartonville in less than 9 minutes. So as we're talking, time is growing shorter in these areas. Your lead time is getting less and less. And the reason we're on the air is to give you lead time to warn you that the storm is headed in your direction and to get you into a place that's potentially going to get you through this storm without being injured. That, of course, is the goal here, is to keep as many folks as safe as possible. So rotation, it's been holding together, and I would imagine that the National Weather Service out of Jackson and the Weather Service out of New Orleans are coordinating, and they're talking to each other, and the National Weather Service out of Jackson, I'm sure, is contemplating whether they are going to issue a tornado warning downstream or farther to the north and to the east to include places like Lawrence, Marion, and Jefferson Davis counties. If that happens, it's going to happen really soon, because you can see the rotating part of this thunderstorm is quickly now approaching Sartonville, which is right at the northern end of Walthall County. So I'm thinking that we're going to get a decision here in just a couple minutes about whether we are going to get another tornado warning issued for those areas downstream. Just looking at National Weather Service, Chad, they're saying the storm looks solid. If nothing changes, they do anticipate a warning to be issued shortly. So that is the latest information from the National Weather Service out of Jackson now, because they're going to take over with the storm. So they are preparing a tornado warning right now for areas north of Walthall County, most likely to include Lawrence County. So if you're listening to us from Lawrence County, south of Monticello, you're not under a tornado warning now, but you very soon likely will be as the storm approaches Sartonville and crosses the county line into Lawrence County. Now I'm going to send it back over to Gracie.
Yeah, thanks for that update, Ken. And what we were just talking about, this is most likely going to be extended downstream, as we've seen this impressive signature on the velocity here for the last 30 minutes at least. And you can see this is from the Jackson radar, so a bit of a different vantage point, and the colors do change, but regardless of what you're looking at right now is definite rotation with the winds at cloud level. So I do want to go ahead and query and just show you how fast these winds are moving, because even if there's no confirmation that there's a tornado on the ground, we know that even strong wind gusts can do just as much damage as a tornado, if not sometimes more. So we've already had reports this evening of some damage down to our south in Louisiana, and we want to try to avoid this. So the green colors showing you about a -9 miles per hour. And then querying the 13, those are both the same, so those would not indicate that. But just a few minutes ago, I was getting queries of closer to 80 miles per hour. So these winds are very, very fast, and they're rotating is what we're showing you here. That's why we've got a tornado warning that's issued. We're going to stay on air until at least 7:30. If this is not continued downstream, then we're going to have to stay on just a bit longer. And like Ken was saying, it's likely that the National Weather Service in Jackson is going to continue it just north into areas of Lawrence County. Taking a closer look at this rotating storm, though, you can see where it is and where the rest of the tornado warning has been trimmed down to. We did start off with a much larger warning here, but here it is still holding together. This is just east of 583, moving along Highway 27 or just west of it, and it's moving at about 35 miles per hour, heading towards areas of Sartonville and riding along that Highway 27 corridor. Also Darbum, you're just outside of this warning, but don't let your guard down, as it has been taking a more easterly turn, and it could very easily shift a bit eastward where this warning is. And we've got a new tornado warning and that is from the National Weather Service. Fairly large warning. This is going to include all of Lawrence County, the majority of Lawrence County, and parts of Jefferson Davis County. So that is, like we were talking about, they've been in coordination with each other. They're confident this is going to hold together and head into areas of Lawrence and Jefferson Davis. So you got plenty of lead time here if you're watching from Lawrence County or Jeff Davis County. In areas of Monticello or Prentiss. Right now, the main concern is where this rotation is, and that is going to be in northern Walthall County, and it's around Salem and Dynam right here, the center of circulation. And I do want to change radar sites, as we're in between two different ones, and it's kind of hard to get an exact vantage point, but we know this velocity signature is fairly significant here and impressive. Therefore, we know we do have something to be concerned of at this time. So there it is, nearing Sartonville right now. And to just put this on here for you, the current warning is going to go until 7:30, and I'm going to check this warning that is going to go until 8:15. So we're going to be here with you every step of the way unless they go with expiring this, which it is not likely that they will. I'm going to check with the National Weather Service too, just to see any more updates here. And it says tornado warning is for Jefferson Davis, Lawrence, Marion. And it's going to be capable of producing a tornado. It was located near Salem, 10 miles northwest of Kokomo, and moving north at 30 miles per hour. So it has slowed down about 5 miles per hour, but it's still moving quickly. And we need to do a track here on it shortly so we can get a better idea. So this is where the circulation is now, moving quickly. Here's Highway 27, Sartonville is just south of you. Going to be moving out of Walthall County here shortly. And I'm going to circle where we're looking at the center of circulation, our biggest concern in between areas of Salem and Sartonville. If you live anywhere here along Highway 27, points west of it, in between Sartonville and Salem, you need to be in your safe place. You don't have much time now, but we're going to give you some lead time for areas in Lawrence and Jefferson Davis County as this is moving northwest now. It says north at 30 miles per hour. And zooming out here to give you a good idea, this is a very large polygon, so we've got plenty of warning time, or lead time, to get in your safe place. If you know people here, go ahead, give them a call. We've got lots of ETAs here. Also, shave a few minutes off of those. Better to be safe than sorry. 7:23 in Sartonsville. You've got a few minutes. 7:42 in Tilton. 7:49 in Robinwood. 7:56 if you're in Arm. Now, 8:12 in Silver Creek. 8:20 in Prentice. This is moving at about 30 miles per hour right now. Has not shown any signs of weakening here on the latest radar scans. And getting a closer look here, and this rotation still located in northern Walthall County. Here it is approaching Sartonsville. No confirmation once again of a tornado touching down. Checking with the National Weather Service, and I'm not seeing any new updates from the National Weather Service that there's confirmation, but once again, very, very strong winds prompting a tornado warning. We're going to treat it like there is one on the ground. Better to be safe than sorry. Now, I'm going to take a look at the correlation coefficient just to make sure we're not seeing any type of debris signature being lofting anything into the air, and it's very, very, very noisy here. And I just mean by that, the colors are all over the place. If there's a debris signature, you'd see a very defined circle of colors, about yellows or blues or greens, to indicate something is being lofted into the air that is not something normal, like an actual hydrometeor, so raindrops or any type of thing that is besides raindrops. And so let's take another look here. Very impressive signature moving out of Walthall County into parts of Lawrence County, heading towards Monticello, Prentice, and could possibly take an eastern turn in going into areas of Jeff Davis County. So here it is, center of circulation around Manning's Crossing Road. And then here's some smaller areas. If you hear any of these, you recognize them, you live nearby, get in your safe place. New Home, Church Road, Enon, Sartonville Road, Hope Road. Here's Sartonville, Highway 27. It's going to be just to the west of you, but could very easily take a more easterly turn as we have seen it before. Sauls Road, Eastern Sartonsville Road, Dan Holmes Road, Kearney Road, all included in this warning. This one's going to expire at about 7:30 here in just a little over 10 minutes, but we have another warning that has been issued for parts of Lawrence and Jeff Davis counties to include for this same circulating, rotating thunderstorm that is now in Walthall County. So it's moving fairly quickly here. And just to check here, I want to go ahead and take a wide view of things. Okay, so we've got some more things, more storms, I should say, that are to be concerned with this time. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning that is issued for the majority of Wilkinson County. Another severe thunderstorm warning off to our west in Louisiana, down to our south in Louisiana, just north of I-55. you can see of another large tornado warning that has been issued there from the National Weather Service in New Orleans. So going to keep a close eye on this one as well, as we could be seeing Pike and Walthall County being hit again by another rotating thunderstorm. But our main concern is going to be this one right here. We've got the red and the greens indicating a center of circulation just over Manning's Crossing Road. Here's Highway 27, and it's just west of you. It is moving at about 30 miles per hour towards Sartonsville. But once it passes Sartonsville, we're going to be seeing it moving into parts of Lawrence County. That's why we've got this very large area of tornado warning that's been issued till at least 8:15. We're going to be here with you through all of that. Now we're on air. If you're just now joining us, it's 7:20. We've got a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk for some severe storms. We knew the main concern was going to be damaging wind gusts and a few tornadoes, some of which could be on the stronger side. Now, right now, we are on air because of this particular rotating storm that's in northern Walthall County, approaching areas of Sartonsville. It's just west of Darbin. This is Highway 586, Highway 27, and it's moving to the north at about 30 miles per hour at this current time. I do want to check with the National Weather Service one more time, and just checking the debris tracker. I don't see any signs of debris being lofted into the air, but from what I'm reading right now, this is similar to the track that we saw earlier. So we do need to be cautious if you're in areas of Pike County or even south of that in Louisiana. If you're outside looking for things, just go inside until this event is over with, until we give you the all clear for the evening. It's going to be a pretty rough evening as we're tracking this line of showers and storms moving through the area. The good news is it's going to move through quickly, so that is something to look forward to. It's going to be over in just a few hours, but here's the current warning. We're including the eastern part of Lawrence County, so areas of Monticello. That includes you, Highway 84. The warning is going through this as well. If you're typically driving at this time, I want you to go ahead and find a safe place. The worst place to be would be on a road or in a mobile home. We need you in a sturdy structure in areas of Prentice, Monticello, also down to our south in Salem. I believe that we can give you the all clear now. Taking a look at our velocity. If you're in Salem, you are in the all clear. Sartonsville, though, the center of circulation is directly overhead. So we're going to need you in your safe place for at least another 15 minutes before this moves out of your area. Now, also in the clear, New Home Church Road, Manning's Road, all of those areas, this circulation has passed you, but don't let your guard down. We have other areas to be concerned with at this time. Taking a wide view of things, you can see we've got rotating thunderstorms to our north, out of our viewing area down to our south and west that could be moving into our viewing area here in the next couple of minutes. And we've got another warning as well down to our south. Taking a look at our radar, just regular rain reflectivity coming down heavy at times. We know it's got a lot of lightning, and the main concern, we know that we have rotating winds, and even if there's no confirmed tornado on the ground, we want to treat it like it is, because these strong damaging winds can be just as damaging as a potential tornado. I'll send things over back to Chief Meteorologist for another look at this storm.
All right, Gracie, fantastic job there, showing folks exactly where the storm is, where it is headed, what to do, and giving the overall view, because we're not done. I know we have focused a lot on this storm in northern Walthall County moving into Lawrence and Jefferson Davis and Marion counties, and for good reason. There's a good signature of a rotation there. Thankfully, nothing's been confirmed, but you still do have to treat this like it is a tornado on the ground. Now, overall view, just to give you some perspective about what's happening here, this batch of rain along and west of Vicksburg, that does not appear to be severe. This area south of there, from Natchez, points south, there's a line developing there. And then this line, that has been the most severe line. That's the reason we've been on the air for the past couple of hours, because of multiple warnings coming from this line. And I think the concern expressed by the National Weather Service out of New Orleans about that tornado warning for Louisiana is the fact that there was a tornado that touched down in Louisiana and it produced damage. And the concern is that there may be folks out trying to clean up after that tornado, and then here comes another one right in behind it. And also, the sun has set. It's nighttime, so it's dark. These storms are going to be rain wrapped. You're not going to be able to see it until it is right on top of you. And we want to keep folks safe. That's the whole point of this exercise. So get in your safe spot if you are in a tornado warning or if the storm is approaching your area. So the tornado warnings that we're talking about right now, that's the one in Louisiana that's going to track over where a tornado has already touched down, but it's this one right here. That's the reason we're on the air right now. There you see one tornado warning right there. It's set to expire in about 5 minutes. And they're probably going to drop that here pretty soon because the rotating part of that is going to be working off to the northeast into Lawrence and extreme northwestern Marion County. So let's go ahead and take a look at the radar here. This is out of Jackson. And you notice there's not too much happening right there until we get right there in southern Lawrence County. So we're going to use our scope tool to find out exactly where that rotation is. So what we're looking at here is, this is the radar. This is what we call the reflectivity. We're just showing you the rain here, but within this little circle area, the scope, that's where we're analyzing the wind direction and the wind speed at cloud level. And of course, we're looking for the rotating winds. We're looking at different colors of shading, the red and the green next to one another, especially if they're bright shaded pixels. The brighter the shading, the stronger the wind. I'm going to see if I can query some of those. Yeah, right there. Okay, so this is what we're looking at here. You see that there is a -50 right there. That means that really bright green shaded pixel denotes winds that are moving toward the radar site in Rankin County. It's moving toward it. It is inbound wind. The +34, that's the brightest red right there. That's wind moving in the opposite direction. So we call this gate-to-gate wind or shear. You basically add those together, and that's the potential that we've got here if it's reaching the ground. So add them together, that's about between 80 and 90 mile per hour winds that could reach the ground. If this is producing a tornado, that would be either an EF0 or an EF1 tornado. Bottom line is, you have to treat it like it is going to be a tornado on the ground because it could produce one at a moment's notice, even though we haven't seen anything to confirm it. We haven't seen anything on our debris tracker. We haven't gotten a storm spotter report saying, yeah, we've seen it. It's on the ground. We saw the tornado. We saw the funnel cloud. We saw the damage being produced by it. We haven't had that yet, but it's still a tornado warning. We still have to treat this like it's a tornado on the ground, moving towards your area. Remember, it's moving to the north and east at about 30 miles per hour. So we know where that rotation is. It is right there. We're going to zoom in to where the rotation is, and then we're going to track it off to the north and east at about 30 miles per hour because we've already plugged that in to Live IMAX 12. So we're going to track it up to the northeast over the next 40 minutes, and these are the locations that are going to be in the path of the storm. It's mostly going to be moving through southeast Lawrence County, but ultimately this is going to get into Jefferson Davis County as well, the southwestern part of Jeff Davis County. These are the communities in the path of the storm. Tilton at 7:36, Oakville at 7:43. At the top of the hour, Silver Creek, that's in Lawrence County, and then Prentiss, which is the biggest city in Jefferson Davis County. It's going to be close to you at just a few minutes after 8 o'clock. The reason this is important is we want to give you lead time. We want to give you enough time to get into your safe spot and protect yourself from this dangerous storm. And you've got time. Right now it's 7:29. It's going to be in Prentiss at about 7 minutes after 8. Now, does that mean wait until 8 o'clock to get into your safe spot? It doesn't. You need to do it sooner rather than later because remember, it's moving at 30 miles per hour now, but it hasn't always been moving at 30 miles per hour. We've had reports of this moving at 25, then at 35, it can slow down, it can speed up. So these are approximate times. If it were to speed up, it would obviously get to Prentiss before 8:07. So you can't wait until the very last minute. We want you to get into your safe spot right now until we can tell you that there is no more danger from this particular storm. And we can't tell you that right now. If you live anywhere to the north and to the east of it, let's say this is south of Highway 184. There you see some of the other communities and the roads that are popping in right there. That is Highway 43, Highway 13, let's say south and west of Robin Hood, southeast of Robin Hood, southeast of Monticello, south of Silver Creek, and southwest of Prentice. That's where this rotating severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is going to be moving over the next several minutes. So let's get a closer look in to this storm. And as we do, some of the streets are going to be popping in here along with the smaller communities, and you can tell exactly where the storm is. So Divide Road, River Road, Ross Lane, along Highway 587 between Robin Hood and Tilton is where we have the rotation right now. In fact, I'm going to look inside the storm once again, and there it is. You see the reds and the greens right next to one another, approaching Highway 587, approaching Robin Hood and Tilton, and then ultimately that's going to be moving northeast of there. Let's just take a look at the velocity product. All right, this is just the velocity. We've taken the radar off completely. We're just looking at the velocity now, and we're going to circle where the rotation is, approaching 587 in Tilton, and we're going to track it out. When is it going to cross 587? It's going to happen really soon. It's only a couple miles away, maybe a minute, 2 minutes away from doing that. When is it going to cross Highway 43 between Arm and Oakville? Well, it's going to happen in about, let's say, 10 to 12 minutes. It's going to be crossing there in about 10 minutes. It's about 6 miles away from doing that. So this gives you an idea of where it is, where it's headed, and just how strong it is when we query some of those wind speeds with the storm. Again, add them together. You're looking at potentially damaging winds at least 60, 70, maybe even up to about 80 miles per hour with this dangerous severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. Let's go ahead and take a look at the debris tracker and see if we can see anything. We haven't had any reports. We haven't had a change in characterization of the storm by the National Weather Service saying that it's radar confirmed or observed. That has not happened, which is good. And the reason it hasn't happened is because looking at the debris tracker, we don't see a thing here that tells us that there is any debris that's being lofted into the atmosphere. So that's a good sign, but this is something that we will continue to check every few minutes to make sure that that is still the case. Remember, the rotation is right in about this area right now. So anything in that area that looks obvious, there's nothing right now. That's good, but we still need to treat this like it may be a tornado on the ground. It is at a very minimum a severe thunderstorm capable of producing damaging winds, and that does include a tornado. So for more information on this and what's happening around central Mississippi, I'm going to send it back over to Gracie.
Yeah, Ken, thank you so much for that update. So recently, they just, here in the last couple of minutes, I want to say 7:30, they issued this new tornado warning. So, well, it's continuing, but they trimmed back the polygon there. And so we've got a better idea of where this is headed. Now, once again, it's mostly including Lawrence County, but we have a portion of Jeff Davis County, areas of Prentice that it is going to include. This goes until 8:15. So we have the center of circulation just now moved out of Walthall County and into southern Lawrence County, and the rest of the tornado warning polygon is including areas of Robinwood, Tilton, Silver Creek, Prentice. All of these areas have a bit more lead time, but our main concern right now is going to be in our southern areas of Lawrence County. If you're just now joining us, we are breaking into normal programming because we have a tornado warned storm that is capable of putting a tornado on the ground at any moment. Now we're going to treat it like it is. So if you're hearing us now in any of these areas, you recognize these names, we need you to find a safe place, get off of the roads. If you're traveling along Highway 587 around Divide Road, Tilton, also River Road. These are all areas we do not need to be driving on. The worst place to be if there was a tornado on the ground is to be in a car or a mobile home. Even a very, very weak tornado can pick up a mobile home, destroy it, and cause a lot of damage. So just something to keep in mind here. Now zooming into where we're seeing the circulation. It's moving at about 30 miles per hour. It is just southwest of Tilton and north of Holmes Road, north of Highway 27. And also it's going to be east of Highway 27. So red and green's right here. It's our velocity signature, and it tells us that we're seeing rotation from these winds at cloud level. Now checking with this CC values, just a fancy name we call for our debris tracker correlation coefficient. It's very, very hard to tell now. No confirmation that we've got a tornado on the ground from radar. It's not radar confirmed. It's not confirmed from any storm spotters as well, but we'll keep you updated to see if that does change here in the next couple of minutes. But a wide view of things of what we're looking at. Just to kind of give you an idea, we're seeing pretty messy conditions, especially along and west of the I-55 corridor. These storms continue to move in and really taking a very similar path. We did have a confirmed tornado down to our south in Louisiana that did cause damage to mobile homes earlier this evening. We've got a large area back off to our west, including Adams County, Natchez, Sibley, all included in a severe thunderstorm warning. Also Woodville and Wilkinson County included in this same storm, this warning. And we've got a warning for us here in Lawrence and Jeff Davis County. Also one down to our south. It could be moving back into Pike and Walthall County, where we were just tracking a tornado warned storm a few minutes ago. So we're going to keep a close eye on the rotation there. But I do want to go back into this storm and just analyze what's happening. We know we've got a lot of heavy rainfall. We know we've got rotation. Also have lightning, so we don't need to be out there looking for these storms. As Ken has said in the past, these are going to be rain-wrapped storms. It's dark outside, it's nighttime. You're not going to be able to see anything or get any cool pictures. We just need you to take shelter if you're in these areas and stay safe, because once again, this could be putting down a tornado at any time. So right now, the center of circulation is going to be on Hammond Road along 587 and also south of Robinwood, just north of Tilton. So here's Tilton. Here's our rotation, what we're looking at, the red and the greens coming together. We know it's moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. So I want to check that just to make sure that is the still the speed. Okay, northeast at 30 miles per hour. We have that plugged into the computer now to give you an idea of where it's headed here in Lawrence County, also Jefferson Davis County. Taking it to the edge of the polygon, if I can, I'm going to redo that and zoom out for you to get a close idea. Here's the center of circulation. We're going to take it, drag it past the polygon, assuming that it holds together, continues to take this entire track, moving north and east. You don't have much lead time, about 10 minutes if you're in areas of Arm, 804 in Silver Creek, 808 in White Sand, 813 in areas of Prentice. Now this is just an estimated time of arrival for this rotating thunderstorm. Very, very dangerous at this time. Could be producing a tornado. So take precaution if you're in these areas and take shelter as well. Where is that going to be? Well, if you're under tornado warning, you know that you need to be in the interior room of a sound structure. That is a built home, not a mobile home, not a car. We don't need you on the roads. The best place to be is inside, away from all windows. And of course, if you have a storm shelter or a basement, that is ideal. Most of us here in Mississippi don't, though. So we just need you in a closet or a hallway, something like that will keep you safe through the next couple of minutes. If you're around M. Givens Road, Ross Lane, River Road, Tilton, still stay in your safe place, but I believe this circulation is now moving north of you. Now, who's downstream of this circulation? That's areas of Arm, Garrett Road, East Rose Hill, West Progress Road, Stumptown Road, Progress Road, just to name a few. You can see these are a lot of areas that could be impacted by this storm. Downstream of it, White Sand, Lucas, Silver Creek, Prentice, and here is Highway 84, so a well-traveled road. It is 7:38. We do not need you on the roads at least until 8:15 if you're in eastern Lawrence County or western Jeff Davis County, in central Jefferson Davis County along Highway 13, Highway 43, Also on Highway 84, all not good places to be at this time. Now, just taking a look at our correlation coefficient to make sure there is nothing being lofted into the air. I think Ken's got an update for us.
Well, I just wanted to pass on to you. The National Weather Service in Jackson did say that they thought they saw a little bit of something on correlation coefficient, but it didn't really meet the thresholds, so they weren't 100% sure. But there is, if you look in southern Lawrence County and you back it up time-wise, just a few minutes. I'm going to go actually forward here and then back, and I'll circle, I think, what they were talking about right here. They said it was near Givens and Price Road, and I'm thinking that is just to the west of Tilton. Now, this was a few minutes ago, but possibly, not confirmed, but possibly there might have been a little bit something on our debris tracker that popped up right there. They said it did match where the rotation was at the time. So not 100% sure that that was debris being produced by the storm. But again, that rotation was really solid when it was moving through that part of southeastern Lawrence County, and there is at least some indication that possibly some debris was being produced. So this could have briefly touched down in southern or southeastern Lawrence County. It does now continue to make its way off to the north and east. And right there, that's where we've got the rotation right now around Highway 587 between Robin Hood and Tilton. Let's take a look. Yeah, so that's a better look at it. You can see the reds and the greens right there, pretty much right on Highway 587. This moving to the northeast, I believe at about 30 miles an hour. So because of that, if it's right at 587 right now, we can track it to the community of Arm. It's about 5 miles or 9 minutes away, as you're seeing it right now from this radar view. Now, remember, this is going to be dated for about a minute or two, possibly in the past. So 9 minutes, but really it could be 5 to 7 minutes away. Shave a couple of minutes off the time that you're seeing here. Bottom line is, I'm saying don't wait 9 minutes if you live in the community of Arm or close to there to get into your safe spot, because it's already going to be on top of you by this time. We need you to get to your safe spot now because time is running out. We want to give you as much lead time as possible, but that's not a whole lot of time. If you're talking about 5 to 7 minutes, hopefully you've got a predetermined safe spot. Hopefully you've thought about what you would do if a tornado warning is issued for your community ahead of this event, and you've already got that location in your mind. You know where to go, what to do. That's the whole reason why we do Operation Tornado, and we have been doing that now for years in central Mississippi, is we want to educate our children, we want to educate the public about exactly what to do when a storm like this is approaching your area. We don't want anybody to be scared of a storm because we can't stop it, but we do want you to know what to do in case a storm like this is approaching your area, because the goal ultimately is to keep everybody safe here. That's the whole reason that we do all of this. So let's go ahead and take a look as we clear this up, and we are just going to take a look at the velocity. Again, as it updates, and you can see it updates every few minutes. So there's a little bit of a gap in information from moment to moment, but as it updates, you can see it jumped from Highway 587 to near the Arm community. That's why I was saying just a few minutes ago, don't wait 9 minutes if you live in Arm to get into your safe spot, because by the latest scan of our velocity product, it's pretty much right there right now. The current time is about 7:43, and this current tornado warning is going to go until 8:15. And there you see the warning. It's to the edge, the north and east edge of this polygon right here. So let's track it out to the edge of the polygon. It's going to take about 25 minutes, and that is approximately until 8:15 for it to move through the tornado warned area. And these are the specific places that the storm could track over in the cone that I just drew, and the specific times it could be at those locations. So Arm Obviously, it's there now. It's saying 746, but it's pretty much is there right now. But downstream, if you live in Silver Creek, and that's a pretty big town in Lawrence County, you've got a few extra minutes. You've got, let's say, 5 to 10 minutes to get into your safe spot. White Sand, 3 minutes after 8 o'clock, and Prentice at about 8 minutes after 8. So that's the latest. Let's go ahead and take a look and see if there's any hail with the storm. There's going to be a little bit of a lag here too. I know the rotation is a little bit farther to the northeast than what you're seeing right here, but we'll query this and show you that there potentially was a little bit of hail being produced by this as well, but not large enough that if hail were the only thing being produced by this storm, not large enough that this would qualify it as a severe thunderstorm. You need to have about quarter inch-sized hail, which is about inch in diameter hail, and this is much smaller than that. This is, let's say, pea marble-sized hail being produced by the storm. So there is some of that. There is also potentially some lightning that's being produced, dangerous lightning being produced by the storm. And then obviously we've got the rain and the wind. And the wind is the biggest threat, whether it is straight line winds coming from this line of thunderstorms or whether it is rotating winds that is caused by a tornado moving through eastern Lawrence County, southeastern Lawrence County, and quickly approaching the county line to Jefferson Davis County. It's going to cross Highway 43, and if you live in Jefferson Davis County, it's going to be crossing the county line into your county in about, let's say, less than 9 minutes. It's only about 5 miles away. So crossing the highway here between Silver Creek and Prentice in about 14 minutes, it's about 7 miles away. Remember, it's moving at about 30 miles an hour. So 7 miles, double that number. It's going to take about 14 minutes to get to where you are if you live between Silver Creek and Prentice along Highway 84. Again, don't want to be in a mobile home. You don't want to be in a vehicle when a storm like this is moving through. We have had a history tonight of storms, not this one, but other storms tonight have touched down. They have produced tornadoes. There has been damage. That damage included some mobile homes. That's the reason why we tell you to get out of those manufactured homes and get to a sturdy nearby structure. Get as low as you can, underground if possible, if not lowest floor of your home or business, interior room, staying away from windows. And best case scenario, if you can, get under something sturdy like a table or a desk and then cover your body, especially your head, with pillows, blankets, a helmet, put on shoes, that sort of thing. If a storm is producing damage and debris, in the aftermath, you're going to want to already have on those shoes in case you have to walk in and amongst that debris that's been produced. So I just noticed that our warning polygon has been updated here because it changed a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and query the latest information, and we can go ahead and take this full screen and I'll just read off the latest update from the National Weather Service coming out of Jackson at 7:46. So this was 1 minute ago. At 7:46, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Arm, or 22 miles to the northwest of Columbia, moving to the north at 30 miles per hour. This is still a radar indicated rotation. The hazard is that it could produce a tornado, and that tornado could produce debris, which is obviously dangerous. Take cover now, go to a basement, interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, avoid windows. If you are outdoors in a mobile home or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. So right there, now on the edge of the new polygon is where we have the rotation that is now along Highway 43. And as we zoom in here, some of these smaller, there's Arm, zooming in there, and some of these streets are going to pop in like Highway 43A, Old Stevens Road, St. Stevens Road, and as we get a little bit closer in, Garrett Road, North Shady Grove, Rabbit Road, Fire Tower Road, the community of Lucas along Highway 84 in Jefferson Davis County, the community of Silver Creek in eastern Lawrence County. you are in the path of the storm, and it is quickly approaching. At 30 miles per hour, it's going to be near Silver Creek, again, in, let's say, less than 14 minutes. Take shelter now. This is your action. This is your call to action. The reason we're on the air is to get you to move and get to a safe spot and take shelter as the storm is moving through your area. Now, hopefully it's not on the ground, but we can't guarantee that. What we can tell you is that there is rotation there, and it is clear as day, and it can produce a tornado, and it can happen at any time. So knowing that, if you live downstream of it, you need to be in a safe place. So get into that safe spot, stay there now. If you live in eastern Lawrence County and parts of Jefferson Davis County along Highway 84 to the west of Prentiss, you're only going to have to do it. I know it may be inconvenient, you may feel silly doing it, do it anyway. You're only going to have to sit there for about 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes, and then the storm is going to get past you, and that's it. It'll be over. And you'll know that you'll have done the right thing to protect you and your family from this severe weather event. So let's go ahead and clear this out. I want to show you that there are other warnings out there. We're going to keep a close eye on this one. This is a tornado warning out of Louisiana, crossing Interstate 55, right where we had the touchdown of the other tornado. That's why the National Weather Service out of New Orleans was concerned that there might be folks out and about with chainsaws or something trying to clean up the damage from the first tornado, and then here comes another one right behind it. So they just want folks in that area to be safe. And as we say that, there's an update on that one as well. So I know this isn't in our area, but it's not far away. So we're just going to go ahead and take a look at the latest information with this one. This is still a tornado warning. It's a radar indicated rotation along Interstate 55 between mile marker 51 and 54. And it is moving to the northeast at about 35 miles per hour. So it doesn't get more specific than that. Rotation over Interstate 55 between mile marker 51 and 54, moving northeast at 35. How far away is it from the Mississippi state line? Well, let's type in 35 miles per hour in Live IMAX 12, and we're going to track it out to the northeast. And it's about 30 minutes away from crossing the state line into Mississippi. So if it holds together, we could potentially be talking about yet another tornado warning for places like Pike and Walthall counties. It's 18 miles or about 30 minutes away from getting into Mississippi. Hopefully it won't hold together, but these storms, they have been holding together tonight. We have seen warning after warning issued with these storms, including this one, because the rotation looks still really good with this cell now moving along Highway 43 and approaching Highway 84 in eastern Lawrence County and moving into, very soon in the next few minutes, Jefferson Davis County just to the west of Prentiss. And obviously we've got more happening back out here to the west. Severe thunderstorms for now. Not a tornado, but you should know that there is a tornado watch in effect for this purple shaded area until 11 p.m. So any severe thunderstorm that develops within a tornado watch, there's a potential there. The conditions are right that we could see rotation, and those warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, could be upgraded to tornado warnings. So we just want to keep you folks apprised. If you live in Adams County, Wilkinson County, or downstream of this line in Jefferson, Franklin, or Emmett counties, that you've got some nasty weather approaching you as well, some heavy rain, some gusty winds, and there may be tornadoes in this area as well if we start to see that line begin to rotate at all. But again, the reason we're on right now is because of this cell between Monticello and Prentiss in Lawrence and in Jefferson Davis County. For more, I'll send it back over to Gracie.
Yeah, Ken, I was just about to give an overview because, like you said, this is going to be more to talk about, more to worry about. We know that we are under a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk for mainly damaging winds, but also these spin-up tornadoes that we have seen. We've seen one confirmed so far, not in our viewing area, but these storms are taking that same path that we were just talking about. There's a warning very, very close to our viewing area in Pike County, but it's in Louisiana still. We've got severe thunderstorm warnings down to our south and west, and this particular one does have a tornado possible tag on it. This is in Wilkinson County, and if it continues to move downstream holding together, then we know it could possibly be issued as a tornado warning, put down a tornado. But right now we're going to keep a severe thunderstorm warning. We have another one issued for Adams County that is in Natchez. Both of these are going to go until, I believe the one in Wilkinson County until 8:15, tornado possible, and then the one in Adams County is, I believe, the same. I'm not sure if there's a tornado possible here. We can double check with the National Weather Service here. We could just look at the rotation as well. We can see if there is enough rotation to really indicate the possibility or potential for a tornado to be produced and put down on the ground. And right now it's fairly weak, but once again, we're far away from this radar site. We might have to switch away and towards the New Orleans radar site to get a better vantage point. And we know there's rotation at cloud level, especially with the cell in Wilkinson County. But once again, we are on air mainly now concerned for this particular thunderstorm that is rotating. We have, and it has been trimmed back, so we know that this is going to go until 8:15. If it continues to hold together and look impressive, not going to be surprised if they continue or issue another warning further downstream into parts of northern Jefferson Davis County, northern Lawrence County. But right now it's a fairly small polygon, but still going to be weary of this. I mean, look at the last couple of scans really holding together. You can see the difference of where the National Weather Service continues to get updates, and looking at this closely, trimming back that warning for us to get a better idea of where this is going. So this is about 7:36, really holding together. Impressive signature there down south of Tilton around 7:32, and here it is now just south of Silver Creek, south of Highway 184, and it's going to be east of Monticello and west of Prentice. So continuing to move north and east, I believe at 30 miles per hour. It was the last one. Okay, so we've got some good news. We're from the National Weather Service. They're going to let the tornado warning expire at the top of the hour. So we know that it's weakening, which is a good sign, but still, until that is able to expire, not going to let our guard down. We're still going to stay on air with you, keeping you informed as much as we possibly can. Here's the center of circulation. It's going to be south of Silver Creek around Old State Stevens Road, moving north and east, moving towards White Sand. If this continues or ramps back up, strengthening, seeing rotation, then we'll continue to move over past Zion Hill Church Road, also Highway 43. This is where that circulation is right now currently. So just taking a zoomed out picture of things, we know we have a couple areas to keep our eye on right now, and that's going to be this particular cell down to our south and along, actually just past and east of I-55, where that circulation was noted. Like Ken mentioned earlier, this is the exact same path that tornado took down in Tangipahoa and did cause some damage to some mobile homes. So that is not good. We do not need to be outside right now. We still got a long night ahead of us. The next couple of hours, we're going to still be in that environment that is capable of producing some severe storms, whether that mean hail, whether that mean flash flooding. The main concern, of course, is going to be damaging winds, and what we're seeing right now, some isolated tornadoes possible. Now let's look at a better view here of the rotation. So that's where that warning is, just south of Pike and right there where the other one did take place. You can just tell the atmosphere is primed and it is perfect for these spin-up tornadoes to be put down. There's Tangipahoa, where the last one we saw was. Going back up to our viewing area, though, we don't want to forget this guy. We're seeing an improvement of the rotation here. It's broadening out some, which is what we like to see. And if it was continuing to strengthen, it would be a lot closer together. These red and greens would be indicated, also brighter colors. But once again, regardless if there's a tornado being put down, we still need to be concerned with these damaging winds. That's still a concern of ours. Gradient winds can do a lot of damage as well. So querying these wind speeds, let's just go ahead and take a look. We've got about 25 miles per hour going away from the radar there, and the colors shaded in red. That is not what I meant to click there. And we've got about 23. So still very fast winds when you put these two together. Gradient winds, gate-to-gate shears, what we call it, winds coming together. That is what does the damage. But right now we are thankfully seeing somewhat of a weakening trend here with this last couple of scans. And it is still, though, if you're just now joining us and you're wondering why we're breaking into regular program, we've got a rotating thunderstorm that still has a tornado warning associated with it. It's near and east of Monticello in parts of northern and eastern Lawrence County, and also including parts of northwestern Jefferson Davis County. That is just near Prentice, south of New Hebron. But the latest scans here has really showed some improvement, and I think that we are looking a lot better. Silver Creek, that is exactly where north of this circulation is, very, very broad at this time. I think that's why the National Weather Service is about to allow this to expire. Checking now with any more updates, and 8:15.
Yeah, so if they let it expire, it's got, well, nope, top of the hour, you were right.
They cancel it, yep.
Cancel it.
Okay, well, then that is the case. I do believe that was our only tornado warning. Now we've got a new issued severe thunderstorm warning just as I'm speaking. This is going to include a large portion of our viewing area. So that is including Adams County, the one that was already here, and also in Franklin and Jefferson County, Claiborne County as well, and Copiah County, parts of western Copiah, also northwestern Lincoln County. That includes areas of Brookhaven. Now I'm not seeing any tornado possible with this, but we still know this is going to be a damaging thunderstorm, as we have a severe thunderstorm warning that was issued. So winds up to 60 miles per hour going to be possible. Also, I believe that's penny-sized hail that could be seen with these storms moving into our counties here around our southwestern counties. Claiborne, Copiah, Franklin, Jefferson, Lincoln, that's going to be until 9 o'clock. But I believe we can send you back over to regular programming at this time.